here. We're going to get some surprises today. There's going to be very special announcements. Legendary Comics has been working with amazing people, J. Michael Straczynski, Max Brooks, Mark Waid, a ton of amazing people. But beyond that, 2013 is actually going to be a really huge year for Legendary Comics. There are two major things that you're going to be announcing. Number one, the Pacific Rim prequel comic, which is a prequel to the film Pacific Rim, which I assume you're all aware of, which sort of, I believe, chronicles the time of the first attack up to the sort of the training of the Jaegers and that. So announcing these projects, Travis Beacham is here, Guillermo del Toro is here as well, obviously Grant Morrison is here as well, and Bob Schreck here, Editor-in-Chief of Legendary Comics, is going to take it away and talk to everyone. I'm just a sexy accessory at this point, so I'll just drift into the back while Bob Schreck takes the mic. Take it over, Bob Schreck.
I'm the unsexy kind of dollop in the room. Baby. This has been a great ride so far, and we're very, very excited. Not only, I mean, clearly, you know, the moment I saw The Devil's Backbone, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing, and he's just an incredible director and writer. And of course, Travis, who did the screenplay for Clash of the Titans movie and for Pacific Rim, it's his screenplay. So we do have that. And while that's already been announced as a film, we are going to do a graphic novel of the early stages of the story. So that's something that, you know, you literally pinch yourself. It's like, I get to talk to Travis and Guillermo every now and then and figure out what we're going to do. But we're also announcing today a brand new project by Mr. Grant Morrison called Annihilator. And we'll be showing the logo eventually. And how would you describe Annihilator? Because you can do this way better than I can.
Basically, Annihilator is, I guess it's a kind of 21st century version of the Faust story, in the sense that it's about a Hollywood screenwriter who's kind of down on his luck, and he gets the opportunity to write a big tentpole movie called Annihilator, which is based on a character called Max Nomax, who's an ancient pulp character. Now, Max Nomax isn't actually an ancient pulp character, we made him up specifically for this. So, our story is that Ray Space is a lead character, he's got to do this movie, he's in a bit of trouble, and he kind of makes a deal with the devil. And then one day, few days later, the FBI turn up at his door and say, a man just appeared in the Tevatron, he's just appeared out of an artificial black hole that we created. Why does he want to meet you? They show Ray the photograph and he says, this is the lead character in my new screenplay. So basically it's about this writer who meets the character that he's writing about, and the two of them go on a bit of a road trip, trying to escape from a character who's been sent to destroy this fictional Nomax character. So yeah, it's a big story about two men on the run. It's a love story, it's a mystery, it's a sci-fi story. It's kind of got everything in there, and most of all it's a Hollywood story. It's about the difference between artifice and authenticity.
Thank you. And it's got a lot of action in it. There's a lot of, it's perfect for comics. It really, that's the thing that Legendary wants to do in general is we're building the comic book house, comic books first and foremost. This is, you know, and that's why we're going to people that know comic books. And Guillermo, you know a little bit about comic books, right? Just a wee bit? Huge comic book fan, obviously. So, Guillermo, would you like to talk a bit about Pacific Rim?
Well, the idea was from the start not to do an adaptation of the movie, because with very rare exceptions like the Coppola's Dracula, which was adapted by Mignola, they all are pretty sulky. So I always thought it's a lose-lose proposition to try to adapt the movie into comic book form. So we thought about this as the most humble transmedia attempt. We thought, well, we can expand the mythology. When we were developing the movie, both Travis and I kept writing biographies for the characters, and then eventually we started developing the design and the tech of the Jaegers and the backstory for the kaiju, the monsters. And we ended up generating a Bible that was several hundred pages long. So there was such richness in that material, so many ideas that were there for the origin of some of the characters, some of the drama that meant realizing that the first attack was an event that was first singular. It was earth-shattering. It destroyed several cities, and then when the second attack occurs and the third attack occurs, mankind knows that they are not just facing a unique singularity, a singular event, and they have to find a way to fight these creatures. And we decided to use the existing tech, you know, jet fighter, pilot, neural communication that, like they use on the DARPA project, you know, like instinctive reaction time in fighting. The idea that you're not dealing with a vector weapon, that is not a missile that is going to be intercepted. It's a thinking creature. Is going to be instinctive, react, evade. So you need to use that communication system and robotics to create essentially something that can grapple with a 25-story high monster. And the origin of all that is dealt with very succinctly in the movie, but we decided to expand it, and one of the first choices that was crucial to find if Travis was interested in undertaking that. And although Travis and I both are physical specimens of magnificence, we are in actuality geeks. You may be confounded by your appearance, but Travis is also a geek. So, you know, when he said yes, we said all yes for the same reasons. When I started talking to Thomas Tull, these days, so often you see comic books that are essentially auditions for a movie. And I said to him, why are you creating a company? Why are we doing a comic? He said, I'm doing the company because I love comics. I want comics that are comics. So, you know, with that in mind, we thought about this as an expansion, not a spin-off, not a marketing opportunity, but truly to expand the world. I'll give now the microphone to Travis so you can hear a gentler accent than the last two.
Yeah, I think the thing is, the movie, it takes place in a really big world, but fundamentally it's about the people, and it really drops you into this situation that's been happening since before the movie starts. It's not like Independence Day or something where you come in and it's a normal world and then, you know, oh fuck, there's aliens. Like, it's, you come in and this is something that's been happening, and these are people who've been dealing with it. And one of the things that opened up for us to be able to do was because in the process of developing it, we had to come up with such a substantial backstory to be able to refer to it in the film, and, you know, the past and that sort of thing. And that gave us a lot of ammunition to build the framework of a comic book prequel around. And it's been a lot of fun. Like, as expansive and as epic as the comic is going to be, it ultimately won't utilize, I think, everything that we came up with for the backstory of this world. And that's what I really, really love about this project, this movie, and this arena in general, is that it's a world that's so much bigger than any one part of it, and in a genuine way, not in a Hollywood film kind of traditional way where you start off with something and you have to build onto it. This is naturally big to begin with, and we're filling in the middle of a border that goes way outside of the movie.
One of the things that we tried to do, and you'll see it in the spirit of the poster we did today for Comic-Con, the idea was to make the movie not a glossy, fluorescent lid, polished surfaces, super cool environment. We start the movie in the middle, or quite actually at the end of the war. We're losing, we're not winning, everything is rusty, everything is broken down. There's a bunch of people trying to make things work. And we started to echo Rosie the Riveter, propaganda posters from World War II, the spirit of alliance and volunteer work, and so on and so forth. And in order to see the beginning, see the sort of golden era of the Jaegers, which we deal with very quickly in the opening of the movie, we thought the comic was a perfect opportunity to see the moment where we all thought we can win this, you know, and we're gonna be beating them. And then when you stay at war for that long a time with an enemy that formidable, that's when the movie starts.